Amir Khan claims that he's never ducked an opponent in his career, that he's not ducking Kell Brook, that he's never ducked Keith Thurman, and that he's actually interested in the Keith Thurman fight. Why do I find that hard to believe? I mean, first of all, he has ducked an opponent, which was Kell Brook. He's blatantly ducked Kell Brook. And this ain't no hating on Amir Khan or nothing like that. I actually like Khan. But I'm just being real. If it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then guess what? It's a duck. So he ducked Kell Brook blatantly. As far as Keith Thurman, Thurman has called him out several times, but the fights never happen. They're both Al Heyman fighters, obviously, so they could fight on a PBC card. It wouldn't be a difficult fight to make, clearly. It's just all to do with whether both fighters are interested. I'm sure Keith Thurman's interested because Amir Khan is, I guess, higher up the pecking order in terms of being a celebrity or a well-known boxer, or, you know, Khan's just on a higher level in terms of pay scale. Let's just put it that way. His pay grade or pay scale, he's higher up the ladder. So I'm sure Thurman will be interested for that reason alone. Never mind the fact that he's certainly a very big puncher and athletic and whatnot, and Khan's vulnerable chin would be in danger. And Keith Thurman's obviously well aware of that. So I know Thurman's interested. Is Khan really interested, or is this just rhetoric? Because remember, Khan used to say that he was interested in fighting Kell Brook, but he said Brook needs to get bigger first. He needs to get himself a name. He needs to get himself a title. Brook went out and did all that, and Khan still don't want to fight him. Now he's saying, I don't want to give Brook a payday and blah, blah, blah. You know, all this kind of stuff. Will it be the same with Keith Thurman? Is this just rhetoric of Khan talking and not backing up with any action? I guess we'll see. I'll be interested to find out who Amir Khan is matched with next, because as far as I know, there ain't anyone on the horizon. He's obviously still hoping to get the Mayweather fight. Doubt it happens. It may, but I doubt it will happen. So Khan will have to fight someone else, another Al Heyman fighter instead, if he's not going to take the Kell Brook fight. So drop your comments below, people. Let me know how you feel about Khan's latest comments. I know he's always controversial. It always gets lively when we talk about Amir Khan. But let me know how you feel about it. And some people have talked about certain things to do with Amir Khan and him not fighting Kell Brook. Some people have said the problem is Eddie Hearn. And they're also saying, and those people who say that are also the ones who say, look why Carl Frampton Scott Quigg ain't happening, because of Eddie Hearn. And they mention a bunch of other different matchups that didn't happen, and the common denominator always being Eddie Hearn. That's their theory. They think it's actually Eddie Hearn that's the hang up. I'm not sure about that. I tend to take things on an individual basis. Yes, obviously you have to also look at common denominators and spot patterns, but not every boxing deal is the same. And Khan himself hasn't come out and said that Eddie Hearn is the problem. You know, back in the days when Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe were supposed to fight, Riddick Bowe's team and Lennox Lewis's team were very clear about who they were accusing on the other team of holding up the negotiation process and not allowing the fight to happen. Lennox Lewis's team, his manager at the time was Frank Maloney, and his financier or whatever he was, promoter or backer, was Panos Eliadis. And they were pointing the finger squarely at Rock Newman, who was Riddick Bowe's manager. And Riddick Bowe's manager, Rock Newman, was pointing his finger squarely at Frank Maloney. He was saying Panos Eliadis is okay, but Frank Maloney's an idiot. He's a mental midget. I can't work with him. So when there's a situation like that, when there is someone in another camp that you can't work with, normally guys are not shy to talk about that. But with Khan, he's not saying that I can't work with Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn has said it many times in many interviews. He said, look, if the Khan team don't like me, let's sit down and you can make it a Khan Promotions then. I won't have anything to do with it. If you want a certain split, let's sit down and talk about it. But the Khan team refused to even sit down and talk with Eddie Hearn. So that to me shows that Khan is ducking Kell Brook. I mean, if you're in any way serious about a fight, you at least sit down and talk and hear what the other camp are offering. But for Khan to refuse to even do that, nah, man. For that reason, I can't see how it's Eddie Hearn. I can't see it. And yeah, like I say, with this Keith Thurman situation, will Khan really fight Keith Thurman? Maybe he'll get forced into a fight with Keith Thurman. That's possible. We know Al Heyman's very powerful. We know Al Heyman, from apparently these contracts that he has, can pretty much match anyone with anyone. But I'm not sure whether Khan's contract is exactly the same as everyone else's. Khan's business team are, I think it's fair to say, pretty shrewd. And, you know, they have a decent amount of control over Khan and Khan's career. So I'm sure they wouldn't have signed their lives away to Al Heyman. But anyway, it's an interesting situation. Let me know how you feel about everything I talked about in the video. It's Hatman, I'm out.